I heard the people that are behind Ripple are the people that want to tear down all the crypto market and do away with the other coins and just have only XRP. In other words, government is behind this. Have you heard anything about it? No. No, but if you want to theorize on what can happen here, we do know that coins are going to fail. Many coins are going to fail. The great majority of coins will fail. A lot of exchanges will fail. But Ripple does not have a reason to kill other coins because everything that they do is based on coins coming through Ripple's ledger and Ripple making a few pennies and then getting an increased value of their coin. Because of the way that their ledger is structured, they have to take the debt in and spit out cash reserves on the other side or something of an intrinsic value. And so they're holding these IOUs. Basically Ripple holds or the ledger will take an XRP or any coin, but mainly an XRP. But when I say any coin, it's the IOU, because nobody's doing a backing of their currencies currently. Fiat currency based systems are backed by the people. They're not going to tell you that, but it's a debt based system. So if we're going to take a dollar, if you will, are they going to use a dollar, or is the Fed going to make their own coin? It's rumors that Fed's going to have their own coin. Well, the Fed has their own coin, and they're calling it Fed coin. It still has to go through a ledger and a blockchain and get to the other side. Are other countries going to have their own coins? Sure. Everybody's going to start trying to create their own coins. Are they all going to manage it somehow through the XRP ledger? Yes. Do I care if other coins fail? I care if 13 other types of coins fail. Yes, because I hold them. Is it that important to me that I would worry about it? No, I made smart decisions on the coins that I purchased. They're all use case coins, except a tiny smidgen. I have a very small amount of Bitcoin. But the reason why I'm saying it that way is they're not going to kill all of them because people will hold them. The reason why they killed businesses in 29 on the stock market, if you take a look and you kind of reflect on maybe what they could do in the crypto markets, is they drive it down and everybody sells off, and then they can't bring forward the cash. Just like, a bank on a bank run, you don't have enough gold or silver in reserves or cash to give people on the spot for all the money that they've got in the bank. And that's why they made a federal holiday and added it to the Trading with the Enemy Act and made the United States citizen a part of the Trading with the Enemy Act, the enemy. Rob says XRP will not kill anything. I agree. The SEC or Congress will label coins for certain utility. ISO 20022 coins will be the financial peg coins. And currently there's only XRP and XLM that I know of that have a ledger that people can utilize, which are ISO 20022 compliant. And by the way, the Fed said 6 months ago that one coin specifically that's ISO 20022 compliant will be the utility that they use to transact and move from a fiat-based system to an all digital-based system in a single day in 2023. And there's only 2 ledgers out there. So if you're holding in both, you're pretty well. I mean, there's more ledgers, but there's really not that have the history, the track record, structure, and all of that. XDC and Algo will be ISO 2. Yep. So my point is everybody hated XRP from the beginning because they weren't a coin that could they weren't one of the people's coins. They were a bank's coins, and they were designed by the banks for the banks, and they authorized 100 billion coins, and 50 of them basically they held for the banks, and so that the banks would be able to participate, and then the other 50 would go also to the banks or to the hedge funds or to whoever. And they want to try to drive out the mid to lower people from utilizing XRP. So they made this ridiculous lawsuit that's carried on beyond its period of time that it should have carried on. And it's complete bunk. They're gonna lose, meaning the SEC is gonna lose. And no matter what, even if the SEC didn't lose, Ripple cannot be a security. And because they don't know all the people that, like, a security is the United States corporation. That's a security. Registered, I'm sure, with the SEC, just like Australia Republic, because Australia Republic has all of its sub-securities, its birth certificates, and they're all registered under the SEC. And so when you want to try to make Ripple and bring them under the SEC and claim that XRP is a security, how are you going to manage all of your securities when it's an impossible feat to know who they are? You will never know who they are. It's already out, meaning it is an impossible factor to make XRP coin or any of the holders make it a security. You can't, because the holders are not going to let go of their money. It's already on a hard wallet. Do you know what that means? There's zero possibility of them identifying, unless that person's a willing party to identify all the people holding that security. It's not possible. So what did Brad Garlinghouse do? He said, well, if anything is going to take place, and they do try to deem Ripple as a security, I am going to move Ripple to a foreign country. And he's already there. And I'm sure he's already got the corporate structure set up, and he'll just defund and take it off NASDAQ as a public offering and walk. And because you can't make Ripple a security. So it's all done for public show, and they're going to lose, and there will be a private settlement. And my point being is they are driving out people from having Ripple, because they know what's going to happen. They know what they're going to do to Ripple. They know how valuable XRP is going to be, but people get stuck on this lawsuit, and people get stuck on the ideas. And so you're going to hear rumors and rumors and rumors and rumors. Go for it. They had to do this pump. Now they're going to do the dump. Why? Because there's about to be a stock market collapse, and they need to dump into something. So stay there in your mind. It's the only company on the face of the earth that can handle the entire monetary system of the earth, with over 300 banks and central banks already contracted, and for pennies on the dollar. And they're the most green service on the earth. Doesn't cost anything to mine them or transfer. It's the best possible solution for a global fiat currency system to resolve that and bring it into a global digital currency system, and be able to pull in all the debt of the earth and be able to push out on the other side a coin to any entity, and then use those debt ledgers to settle with the banks on the other side. Somehow, some way, I'm really not worried about it. I do think Ripple will be secretly run by the US government. Ripple will merge with SWIFT at some point. The case is all delay tactic for everything to get set up globally. I think Ripple's going to swallow SWIFT. I don't think they're going to merge. It's kind of, I guess, the same thing. There are good rumors that BCB Group will run everything crypto globally, but run by the elite. Oh, I'm sure there's some stuff that we need to be considering in that regard, 100%. But I'm not concerned about it, because once you've got the coin and you put it on a hard wallet, you're the bank. You decide if you want that coin off that wallet, or if you want that coin to expand. That's it. Meaning, as it goes up in value to $1,000 a coin from 40 cents, it's still on that wallet. It's still yours, in your possession. Now, coming off the wallet's going to expose the wallet. Who cares? I'll be paying for houses privately. I'll be paying for jets if I need it. Islands, homes, assets, apartment buildings for people that are in need. 100%. I'll pay direct to another individual who wants to be in the system. I don't want to be in the system, but I can pay anybody I want. The trick is are you going to be locked out of this, the phone or your computer? And so those are the next level things for HISAdvocates that we're going to be dealing with, is not just privacy or living in the private, but operating systems, VPN systems, phones that will not go down when Google and Apple and everybody placate to the need for a smart chip embedded to work with the phone. You know what I mean? Where you put it on your chip, it unlocks the phone, that kind of a thing. So just thinking out loud, and we're doing everything that we can to stay ahead of that. It's a lot of work. I'm pretty technically inclined, but nowhere near what I need to be to even make suggestions in those other areas. But I got some people on staff, and I got some friends that we're working with to bring about what I'm talking about, to be able to utilize phones, to be able to utilize computers with certain OS systems on it that are private, and on networks that are private, using maybe even the same systems they created for themselves, not necessarily calling it the dark web, but there are certain systems that you can utilize that allow for complete autonomy and complete privacy, and being on the internet and so on and so forth, and making purchases and connecting your phone with your, if I'm going to do a transaction on my wallet, there's things that I'm going to be thinking about before I do that transaction. The type of browser I'm using, whether I'm using a private window, whether I'm using a VPN, and do I shut off all the other VPNs? I don't know if you guys know this, but Skype is its own VPN. And so these like other little things that you're hooking software up, I mean, how do I know that? Well, I'm smart enough to know that a VPN will lock a computer up, but it can't lock out a secondary VPN. So anytime I would run a VPN, Skype still works, whereby I locked up everything else but my VPN and what I'm utilizing it for. And Skype was still working. It shows me there's a direct connection, and they have their own tunnel, and I couldn't penetrate that SSL connection. And so we need to learn these things, like how do you just get on a computer and make a transaction and stay private? And we will. And also, my ultimate goal is to be able to get into cash position, where I can keep enough cash in foundations, and to where people that do need money, and they want to cash out, I want to be that exchange for them. Yeah, I'll make a penny, meaning a point, whatever, but it's an important tool to have, to be able to know that there's a trusted source, that because when you cash out of an exchange, it's 3%, but they want to make it go to another named account at a bank with the same name as the exchange account. That's most exchanges. And I want to be able to send it to any account you wish. You send me XRP, I send you cash to your foundation, to your purchase of a home, to your gold, to whatever you're asking us to buy for you, to that settlement account, to that escrow account, to the whatever. And then you have instructions to them, because they don't know where it's coming from. It just hits. The bank obviously knows where it's coming from, but the escrow companies don't know where it's coming from. They just want to know, they see money hitting the account, boom. If it's coming offshore, they're going to be a little bit worried, but it's not going to be coming offshore. So, because there's certain things that they have to obey pertaining to escrow laws and different things like that, and receiving funds. But I would love to have these private side solutions set up for people. And I think that, when it comes to XRP, you're looking at the world's reserve platform for all coins to move through. And I don't think for a second they didn't design it. We were looking for a one world coin, and they were building an infrastructure to manage all coins and know every single transaction of every single person around the world, and be able to monitor that. And that's Ripple. So is it a problem owning that? Only if you don't use it for the glory of God, period.